Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Laura Prada from the Telesur Studios in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin with the top stories from around the world right now. And we begin in Cuba, in the Caribbean, because this Sunday arrived to Cuba on an official visit Angola's President João Lourenço for a two-day visit to strengthen the deep and historical relations between both countries. For details about his first day of activities, Fabiola Lopez from Havana updates us.
The first day of the Angolan president's official visit to Cuba has been very busy today. It concluded with the highest honors for both countries. Angola's president, João Lourenço, received from Army Chief General Raúl Castro the Order José Martí for his personal merits and for strengthening relations between Angola and Cuba. By his hand, President João Lourenço awarded with the order Agustino Neto, to Army Chief General Raúl Castro, and to President Miguel Díaz-Canel, and also to Army Generals Leopoldo Sintras Frias, Minister of the Army Revolutionary Forces, and to General Ramón Espinosa Martín, Vice Minister of FAR. Also, the Agustino Neto post-mortem order was given to General Díaz-Argüelles, who organized the Cuban initial stage in Angola. Before the presentation of honors, the bilateral talks on the relations between the two countries, they discussed cooperation in different sectors such as education, health, and international affairs. Earlier in the afternoon, they were signing memorandums of understanding in various sectors, including commerce, education, health, human resources, and social security. In the morning, the Angolan leader addressed a media conference where he announced that Angola's position on the blockade was unmodifiable. He has reiterated calls for the which he called an unfair and inhuman policy blockade to be lifted. The day also included paying homage to Agustino Neto in the Founding Fathers Park, to the founder of the Angolan nation, also to the Cuban hero José Martí at the Revolution Palace. And they also laid wreath in honor of the Cuban heroes fallen in Angola's exploit. The official visit continues on Tuesday, when Lourenço is going to visit the Economic Development Area, the Genetic Engineering and Biotechnological Center. He will later on attend a meeting with Angola medical students studying in Cuba. Analysts say that this shows the great relationship between the two countries and the contribution of Cuba to the African country. Right now, 800 Cuban doctors are working in Angola and more than 1,300 in education sectors. And during all these years, more than 8,000 Angolan youth have studied in Cuban universities.
Thank you, Fabiola. Now we move on to Mexico, where President Andrés Manuel López Obrador addressed on his first year since he was elected head of the government. Crowds gathered at Zócalo Square in Mexico City for a rally. The president has given a report on progress made so far. Many of those present say AMLO, as he is usually known, has brought a radical change compared with previous Mexican governments. His principal challenge continues to be the security of the country.
Today marks a year of our movement's triumph. It was a victory for all our people. Our ancestors, from whom we have blessings to continue in this transformation process, and to live to tell about it. It has been a triumph for Mexican children, boys and girls, to whom we have the duty to leave them a happy nation.
And during his speech, AMLO, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, thanked Mexican women and men that allowed to give a voice to the invisibles and the most vulnerable and make it a main objective for his government.
Our movement has gone beyond because it emerged from ideals and principles. It is governed by them and won't limit its aim to simple government change, but it has an objective to overcome the corrupt and ruthless regime that used to prevail. It is a major challenge, but something really fatal to build a fair nation.
And among other topics, López Obrador also spoke about the progress his government has made regarding fuel theft and public debt.
Se redujo el robo de combustibles en 94%.
Fuel theft has been reduced by almost 94%.
Y con eso nos vamos a ahorrar,
and with that we are going to save about
Se resolvió el problema
50 billion Mexican pesos.
de abasto de gasolinas. Y como ya dijimos, prácticamente
The
se
supply
acabó
problem was resolved
con el
and we have
famoso
put an end to fuel
huachicol.
theft.
La corrupción
Corruption and electoral fraud
fueron reclasificados como
are now
delitos
classified as
graves.
serious crimes,
Ya
and there's no more tax cancellation for powerful and influential people.
impuestos a potentados e influyentes.
Now, well, in other informations, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has agreed to expand their current production cut until March 2020. This as an effort to control oil prices and maintain a balanced market. Since 2017, the OPEC has been reducing production levels to prevent a collapse of the oil market, just as the United States has increased its own production levels. The 176th OPEC meeting is currently underway in Vienna, Austria, and it's being led by Venezuela's oil minister and president of the state-owned oil company PDVSA, Manuel Quevedo, as OPEC's current president.
Everyone supported the proposition to extend for 9 months the limits agreed in December.
Meanwhile, the Iranian oil minister Bijan Saganeh has said the United States is responsible for the state of the oil market, saying it has been politicized. The U.S. have flooded the market with shale oil produced by fracking, driving prices down.
The U.S. is responsible for everything that happened in the market. I believe, and we, as Iran, we have told it that the market should be depoliticized, oil market, and we should leave, U.S. should leave the market to do based on its fundamentals. If one country wants to put pressure on the market and to politicize the market, it will change many things, and it's not clear what happened in the market. Because of all these, we again repeat it that all the players in the market should try to depoliticize the oil market.
And Iran has officially breached the terms of the 2015 nuclear deal by stockpiling over 300 kilograms of enriched uranium. Iran has said that talks led by European countries to save the deal last week had offered too little.
As I have been informed, Iran has crossed the 300-kilogram limit based on its plan, and we had announced this plan before. Therefore, based on what we had announced, we said very clearly what we're going to do, and we will act on it. We see it as a right based on the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action.
And like this, we go to a first break here from the South. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Telesur English and on my account, of course, at Laura P. Telesur. Stay with us.
Our actions have an impact on the environment. It's our responsibility to change for the sake of our planet. Let's be part of this transition. Watch, preserve, and protect your Green Zone. Wednesdays, only on Telesur.
为了保持身体健康，我冥想。
Para mantenerme saludable, yo corro.
To keep myself healthy, I study.
Για να διατηρηθώ υγιής, τρέφομαι σωστά.
Para mantenerme saludable, yo bailo.
Para mantenerme saludable, yo purifico mi espíritu a través del cuerpo. ¿Y tú?
Guide your body. Tuesdays, only on Telesur.
We are back with the news. In Sudan, hundreds of protesters gathered in Khartoum a day after at least 7 people died in clashes with security forces as they demanded a civilian-led government. Demonstrators blocked the main road leading to Sudan's capital and set up barricades as riot police looked on. They are reportedly angry after finding the bullet-riddled bodies of 3 young men near the river Nile early on Monday. And now we move on to Syria, where 6 Turkish nationals have been held hostage by forces loyal to Khalifa Haftar in Libya and have been released. Turkey have been piling pressure and threatening to intervene if the detained Turks were not released. The Turkish Ministry of Defense reportedly denied claims that military personnel were among the freed hostages. Last week, Haftar's Libyan National Army said they would attack Turkish targets, including vessels in Libyan waters and businesses, over the country's support for the internationally recognized Libyan government. And Ethiopia, the Prime Minister has ruled out ethnic links to the attempted coup last week. While addressing a parliament, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said the failed coup was rather aimed at destabilizing the country, and this was his first address to legislators since the coup attempt in which dozens of people, including 5 top officials, were killed. More than 250 people have so far been arrested in connection with the coup attempt.
Unless it was meant to commit atrocities, with a rational mind, it is impossible to think about making a coup d'etat at the federal level. But once you become irrational, you will not succeed, but you don't choose where to start. Never. Otherwise, thinking about making a coup d'etat at the federal level in present-day Ethiopia is insanity. Impossible. You may create a tragedy whereby hundreds of thousands are slaughtered in a single day, but you cannot form a government.
And Mauritania has confirmed the winner of its presidential elections, with Mohamed Ould Ghazouani touched the victory. The voting process concluded last week, but the opposition had disputed the results, alleging that the elections were not free and fair. The Constitutional Council rejected the challenge and confirmed that Ghazouani had won with 52% margin. He will officially take over the presidency from Mohamed Ould Abdelaziz early in August.
We are happy that the candidate Mohamed Ould Ghazouani won in the first round with 52%. Ghazouani, Ghazouani.
I am very pleased, my brother. I am proud. He's my president.
And in Lebanon, the government has expressed concern for shootings which occurred over the weekend and has assured that efforts will be undertaken to restore security in the country. Lebanon's Supreme Defense Council said it has taken decisive measures to bring those involved to justice. This after gunmen murdered 2 aides of a state minister for refugee affairs, Saleh al-Gharib, on Sunday. The incident escalated as supporters of Walid Jumblat, Lebanon's main Druze leader, protested against a planned visit to the area by Foreign Minister Gebran Bassil, who later cancelled.
The Supreme Defense Council took decisive measures to restore security to the area that witnessed deadly shooting, with no delays or relentlessness, and detain all those wanted and refer them to judiciary, with fast investigations under the supervision of the concerned judiciary. And this is to bury strife and safeguard the prestige of the state.
Time for a second and very short break, but remember, you can find this and much more other stories as you can see it on our website, telstorenglish.net.
Discover the cultural diversity that defines a continent. The place where art and tradition are part of the same nucleus. Artistic expressions, values, real life. Fridays, only on this world. From here to beyond the South. From here to the Caribbean or further north. Where can I see news connecting the whole South? From Washington. From Mexico. From Caracas. From Quito, from Havana. You can always see the news from a new vision, connecting the global South, only on Telesur.
We are back with the news and we go to the Caribbean. In Jamaica, Prime Minister says while crime and economy remains a serious challenge for the island, progress has been made on these fronts in recent times. Prime Minister Andrew Holness issued the assurance during his ongoing state visit to the Cayman Islands.
I'm not here saying that Jamaica is out of crisis, but Jamaica is recovering. Indeed, if you look at our GDP is just now returning to its 2009 levels, having gone through crisis. But we have some good news to report. You know, in 2013, our unemployment rate was 16%, and our youth unemployment was 32%. As of January this year, our latest figures show that our unemployment rate was 8%.
And Venezuela announced the start of normalizations of diplomatic relations with Germany. In March, the Bolivarian government declared their German ambassador Daniel Kriner persona non grata after he went to the Caracas airport to meet with the opposing Juan Guaidó. President Nicolás Maduro has now authorized the ambassador to return to Venezuela and, quote, build an agenda of mutual interest on the basis of respect. The agreement to restore diplomatic dialogue channels was reached at a meeting in Berlin. And we continue in Venezuela by talking about other matters. Attorney General has announced that 2 officers attached to the Directorate General for Military Intelligence have been arrested for their links to the death of Rafael Acosta Arevalo. The death was first reported by the public prosecutor on Saturday. Acosta Arevalo had been arrested for attempted terrorism, rebellion, and murder due to his alleged participation in the attempt magnicide and coup against President Nicolás Maduro. Attorney General Tarek William Saab ordered an immediate investigation resulting in the request for pre-trial detention of the 2 individuals. The pair has been charged with manslaughter, though the case is ongoing. And regarding this, the president of the Venezuelan National Constituent Assembly, Diosdado Cabello, has said he fully supports the ongoing investigation into Acosta Arevalo's untimely death, adding that the government of Venezuela does not in any way support the use of torture. Let's hear how he said.
We condemn this event. We condemn any act through which ideas are imposed through violence. So we support the investigation requested by the President to the Public Ministry about the events occurred with Mr. Rafael Acosta Arevalo. These events need to be clarified before the country and before the world. The position of our government is entirely against using such methods. In the end, we will prevail, and at the end of all of this, we will surely win.
And now the Common Alternative Revolutionary Force Party, FARC, in Colombia, has called on one of its leaders, Jesus Santrich, to reassert his commitments under the peace process. FARC made its call after Santrich left his bodyguards on Sunday and disappeared. To have more details about what happened, we have the following report sent by our correspondent in Bogotá, Paola Fernandez. Welcome, Paola, tell us.
On Sunday, the National Protection Unit issued a communique which said that after the end of the night shift, the team that came on in the morning to provide protection for FARC leader Jesus Santrich did not find him in his room, and that he had abandoned his team of bodyguards, which was made up of members of this protection unit and a number of members of the FARC party. Later, the FARC itself published a statement which says in one of its points that the FARC invites Jesus Santrich to return to the places assigned to him by the party leadership and to reaffirm the commitments made during his years as a member of the revolutionary organization. And as a part of the peace agreements, you will remember that Jesus Santrich had been in detention. He was then freed and took up his seat in the Colombian Congress, one of the seats reserved for the FARC as a part of the peace agreements. There have been comments on social media suggesting that Santrich abandoned his security detail because of the possibility of an attack against him, and that he is now in hiding to protect his life. Nothing has been heard from Santrich himself, and the whole country is waiting for him to explain what's going on.
Thank you, Paola. And now we move on to other topics because at least 23 have reportedly been killed in the latest incidents of ethnic violence in northern Mali. According to the local major, unidentified gunmen raided a Fulani village on Sunday night, killing 23 people and leaving scores of others with serious injuries. He added that more than 300 people are still missing after the attack. The country has recently seen an upsurge in inter-communal attacks, mainly between the Fulani and Dagon communities. Last month, an attack on a Dagon village left nearly 100 people dead. And we continue talking about other news. At least 16 people have been killed after a truck loaded with bombs exploded near the Defense Ministry compound in Afghanistan. Taliban fighters have claimed responsibility in a statement released after the blast. Gunfire was heard as Afghan security personnel exchanged fire with fighters who stormed a building near the Defense Ministry following the explosion. 100 people, including 35 children, were injured in the clash. The attack comes as the United States holds talks with the Taliban leaders aimed at bringing an end to the 18-year war in Afghanistan.
We hope for lasting peace in the country and an end to the current conflicts. Everyone is fed up with war and wants to live a better life. Terrorists only kill Muslim people.
And now we continue talking about the other informations. The German captain of a migrant rescue ship, Sea-Watch 3, has appeared in an Italian court for forcing her way into an Italian port carrying 41 migrants she had rescued off the Libyan coast. Monday's hearing was to determine whether Carola Rackett should remain under house arrest while the investigation into her case continues. Her ship had been at sea for more than 2 weeks while waiting for permission to dock. She is facing charges of disobeying a military vessel and entering a port without authority. If convicted, she faces up to 10 years in jail.
The decision to dock the ship comes from necessity, due to the medical risk and needs. The previous night, parliamentarians also conducted checks to ensure that there was no risk, danger or suicide on board the ship.
And for the end, we want to share with you images of the first activity to celebrate Telesur's 14th anniversary. Because you know, always, as you can see it, years of connecting the global south. Until next time, thank you for watching.